The Fellowship of Guelphissauga continues, with the Big Blue Orc changing the rules of the game. Like a spoiled brat in a kindergarten playground, the Big Blue Orc changed the rules again so that he and his Property Developer Orc friends always win. The news of allowing 23-story buildings to be constructed in the downtown core spread across the Shire like wildfire, as Carly of Klassen and the Elder Elves dealt with becoming swamp creatures of the province. Meanwhile, Conestoga College purchased the old Cooperatives building downtown with the plans of opening a new campus with on-site residences, making the university's fat cats jealous. How will Carly of Klassen and the Elder Elves handle the Big Blue Orc's new rule change and the insanity that follows? Before the Big Blue Orc announced his rule change, its effects were already felt by those closest to the ground level. Like the destruction of Alderaan, a sudden drop in the force was felt by the wisest in the Shire, and Sir Edward of Bench fell ill. He lay bedridden for a day and couldn't help with the bench from the headaches. But the bench didn't suffer from Sir Edward's absence, as his 100% transparency on the bench's donations gets a 110% return from the bench's volunteers. Once the Big Blue Orc officially announced his rule change, the local legacy media jumped on board the YIMBY train before Elon Musk could give them gold stickers. They contacted the mayor and the council of elders for their opinions, but like most legacy media, they simply reported the first opinion they liked as the news instead of waiting for the other elders to reply. The mayor was overjoyed from the news and went full YIMBY mode with excitement, similar to Grogu inside a nanny bot. YIMBY, 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 YIMBY was heard downtown as the mayor walked through the Shire, agitating the trolls on Twitter and the apes of Reddit. In the Council of Elders chambers, Carly of Klassen and the Elder Elves prepared for the insanity from the looming invasion. The swamp creatures of the province were already standing at the Shire's gates with permits for the new residential builds hitting a record high last year. Now that the Big Blue Orc changed the rules of the game, the Property Developer Orcs can skip the approval process for any Tower or Sauron proposal, as the Council of Elders is mandated to become creatures of the province. Carly of Klassen and the Elder Elves protested the mayor's stance and separated themselves from the YIMBYism. But eventually the rule change will catch up to them, and Carly could lose her elven class and the Elder Elves will go insane as they stop following the rule of the ward and slowly morph into creatures of the province. The apes of Reddit and trolls of Twitter came to the same realization and started flipping tables and throwing mud everywhere. Their misdirected anger spread across the Shire, even hitting Carly of Klassen, who is on their side. Meanwhile, at the OG Tower of Sauron, aka the old Cooperators building downtown, the fat cats at Conestoga College made a $90 million power move on the university. Conestoga purchased the tower to build a new full-service campus with a focus on health, business, industry, IT, and social services programs. They are planning both student housing and academic space in the building, but are vague on the amount and pricing of the residential units. They say, "We know that for our students, the price point is lower than for university students in general." But that could simply mean $1 lower. The fat cats at the university were jealous of Conestoga's new fancy building and prepared to compete. They are looking at hiring a for-profit company, likely the highly subsidized Apply Board, to recruit foreign students who they can charge a huge price tag for international tuition. The university is also pausing intake for certain programs such as art history and European studies. Back at the council chambers, the Elder Elves studied the rules of the game to find possible solutions to the looming disaster. They needed to act quickly before they lose their elf classes and their beautiful elven hair falls out from going insane. One angered troll downtown attempted to solve the problem by copying the French approach from across the pond. Similar to burning down a BlackRock headquarters in France, a local troll took it upon themselves to burn a building. She unfortunately picked the wrong building on Wyndham Street North and was arrested. The Elder Elves wanted a more peaceful solution, so they looked to inspiration from the Cooperators Building and other failing businesses in the Shire. Carly of Klassen noticed in the tomes of records that a local couple had converted a schoolhouse into a home. With the extra residence rooms being developed at Conestoga's new campus and the eventual opening of Grace Gardens, the council was slowly completing the 18,000 homes pledge without building any towers. Carly noticed the trend of converting abandoned commercial buildings into housing and had a bright idea. If only the Elder Elves could find enough empty commercial units to flip into residential units, then they could continue to follow the rule of the ward while still playing the Big Blue Orc's games with the 18,000 homes pledge. Carly of Klassen and the Elder Elves hunted across the Shire to find businesses where their employees are now working from home and continued their count towards completing the 18,000 homes pledge without building a single tower of Sauron. Can Carly of Klassen and the Elder Elves keep their elf class and avoid turning into swamp creatures of the province? Stay tuned here to see.